Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. And I thought we'd try something a little different here. Maybe add a little background music. Might only do this once, but you know, one needs to experiment with such things. So here we go. And this one is for 12/19/2023, and it is an extremely warm day. It's December, and it's in the mid-50s. And this is cray cray. And of course, the group is taking advantage of this. And so, along with that, I thought we'd have an extended preview before we get into the sprint zone here, and we'll talk about what's going on here. So in a nice little double pace line, we have one rider going to the left, one rider going to the right. And this is the way it's normally done in other groups, but I really prefer both riders go off to the left-hand side because that way the double pace line doesn't have to change its lines. There are lots of obstacles on this road, and I'd prefer that if we didn't have to go 4 wide, it's a good thing. Anyway, we just see JC giving Wolfgang a little wave there. Everybody's friendly, lots of jocularity, and I am expecting a good time today. And of course, it was a good time because, you know, I'm recording this and I know it's going to happen. Mixing tenses, probably not a good thing, but I do it all the time regardless. Everyone looks pretty good here, and this is where the town of Tinmouth has patched some holes, but not perfectly. Some of them are pretty big, and so we always, or at least I always, back off a little bit to give myself room to see whatever it is. So if I can avoid it, bunny hop it, do whatever I have to do, that I don't go down. Because there are no prizes here in this group for not getting dropped or whatever. Better to be safe. But the group is looking really uniform, and I think a lot of my words of keeping bar to bar, etc. And if you're not going to be bar to bar, try not to overlap wheels. I understand during the sprint zone, you know, all bets are off because it's more not their forte. They emulate what they see, but they don't know why people are doing whatever they're doing. In any case, here we go into the sprint zone, and life is good. It's so warm. I'm really liking this, and the skies are blue. And it's a pretty good turnout. There weren't that many in the parking lot to start with, but we picked up people along the way. So it looks like we got Roby up front and a bunch of people back there. Mr. Mellinger. I think B-Train is somewhere around here. Legendary JC. There's Danny in the green setting in. And it's a pretty lethargic pace. And I'm okay with that. It's the holiday season, and there's no reason to party on. 16 miles an hour. And I'm perfectly happy with this on a warm day because I'm just happy to be out. Got Brian in front wearing the HP kit on his old bike. And I must say, that chain needed to be oiled. And it was squeaking a little bit. It was kind of annoying me. I didn't tell him, but I'm saying it now. So guys, clean your chains, oil your chains. Yeah, I know on occasion I might do that too because I'm coming out and I don't realize it. But if you're not going to bring out your good bike, and I know he's got an S-Works somewhere that he's saving for special occasions, but yeah, I'm talking about you. And here we go. Starting to hot up a little bit. And I've got only my telemetry today. B-Train with no telemetry. JC didn't have his telemetry, no power meter. The battery wore out, so all you got is little me to go on. And now things are starting to change a little bit. We got Mr. Lawyer, and he is also sandbagging from the TTH. Seems like a lot of folks are using the TTH for a warm-up these days, and that's okay. Well, allowing this truck to pass, and there's a little bit of transition there when my camera switches files. We don't have Scott today with his GoPro, so we missed some of that, but that's okay. It gives me more real estate for my footage. I added some of the other telemetry today, elevation, the time. It's standard, comes with the package for Dashware, and I usually don't include it, but I'm like, yeah, what the heck, you know? Anyway, extremely relaxed at this point. Average 30-second power, you know, in the 170. There's relaxing back there. Got Wolfgang looking strong in the red. Got Jason back there, Mr. Lawyer, people sandbagging. And, you know, no one wants to get things going except for B-Train, who has gone off the front. And there is no sense of urgency here. And I'm thinking to myself, you guys back here, you're just waiting for other people to do the work. And if B-Train goes up the road, it is dangerous. Although he's on his gravel bike, so that's not so bad. Looks like Justin coming back because he doesn't want to be up there that early. And then there's JC up there with B-Train, and this can't be had. We cannot have two strongmen like that. There's the wave of like, hey, either let's come on or whatever. But B-Train wants the rest of us to come up, and I guess it's going to be up to me to close this gap. Average 30-second power. It looks like, about 310 watts for a second there, which is good. So now I'm on B-Train's wheel, trying to recover a little bit, and he's waiting for everybody to come up, and this was our mistake. And I'm surprised that only Danny went with me at this point. This was extremely dangerous. I mean, a lack of respect from the peloton for B-Train, myself, and Danny. And I think if B-Train was holding the hammer down to catch JC, those guys would have been, and I have two words for them, bye-bye. Even the might of Mr. Lawyer and Mr. Mellinger, no disrespect, I don't think you have the power to bring back B-Train. And you might have gotten me and Danny after B-Train dropped me, but once B-Train reached JC, you guys are racing for third place. In any case, you can see the guys are starting to get the sense of urgency. Not certain who's on the front back there doing the work, but they're working pretty hard. And you can see my 30-second power only has 170 watts. We are not going hard up here. It is B-Train and his altruistic nature to allow the rest of the group to come up, because if we can get the group together, it's kind of a nice feeling for everybody to work. So it looks like Mark brings in the group, especially impressive after he was late for the group ride and had to chase us down. So now it looks like it is game on. B-Train realizes everybody's there. My 30-second power is up to 227. So that lets you know that B-Train's probably easy doing in the 300s. But JC's dangerous. Like, I don't know how many people know how strong he really is. With an FTP probably in the mid 300s. And so for this short 8-9 minute effort, I'm certain he can hold maybe, more wattage than that, probably close to 400. So this was a serious lack of respect from the group to allow him to get up the road. Call it what you will, hubris, lack of respect, or whatever. It's game on, and we are really not in the game here. So enjoying the look back. Danny working hard on that new bike with a slightly more upright position. B-Train still not working that hard here, but he's on that handicap bike, and you can see that little speck up the road of JC just there, just reaching the crossroads right there before we reach the bridge, and there is maybe a chance. And for those of you who are watching this on your phones or whatever, this podcast video was made to be looked up on the big screen. So get your Chromecasts out and cast this to the big screen TV, and you can see it the way it was meant. Looking at my 30-second power, like 200 and some, and it's going up. And this little grade is hard. Instantaneous power reaching over 350 watts, almost 400, just to stay in contact with B-Train here. And we've made very little ground on JC, just a little bit. At this point, it's like there's a little wave to come through. I think it wasn't an elbow flick. I prefer the elbow. I know in a lot of USCF racing or ACA, you're not allowed to take your hands off your handlebars unless there's like an incident. So anyway, I come through, Danny comes through, and WTF? What is wrong with these people? Like, I know, maybe they're just tired because they had to make that bridge, but it looks like B-Train's going to go to the front, and it's going to be looks like just a couple of people on the rotation. And I don't know if that's a look of disgust from B-Train, but he's like, what's going on? As JC makes more ground up the road. And now there's a sense of urgency, and there's an attack by Mr. Mellinger, seeing that the group's not going to work together and they were not close. So he's going to try to go make the bridge. Mr. Lawyer's going to try to make the bridge, and nobody else. It looks like this is a good move if you think you can make the bridge. But with powerhouses back here like B-Train, that you are full of it there to be able to think you can stay away from him. But maybe you can, because B-Train is not on his regular bike and he's bleeding off watts. Even Roby back here, Justin back here, strong men that had not gone with that move, either because they couldn't or didn't want to, or were relying upon the super B train to drag us back there, which if he was on his regular bike, yeah, he'd have brought them bitches back. Oops, pardon my language there. But yeah, I guess this video isn't made for kids, so it's all good. And here's a little bit of work. I'm up here working hard. Here comes Roby coming through. Wolfgang doing a lot of work on the front. Now Justin goes through. And, you know, it is a game of like wait and see. And if these people can wait long enough, they figure that maybe JC will tire. Yeah, in your dreams. And maybe people aren't paying attention to the numbers he's thrown up before, and they don't know of his pedigree. But yeah, he is indeed a serious beast. Good shot of Rick Lutz back there. Don't see him very often, but he has made the junction with everybody else and is in the action. And now here we go, bringing back some of those folks that had a little bit too much full of themselves. And Roby blew himself up trying to make the catch. It's good that you put yourself out there, but 2 words, nice try. Anyway, here comes the rest of us. We can see the group just dangling up the road. Nice move by, it looks like Mr. Lawyer and it was Mr. Mellinger that were properly able to gauge what they were able to do. And this is in fact an important thing, that when you are in a group situation, unless you're training, and I'll do this, I just blow myself up in these efforts just because, you know, I want to get all the goodie out of it, all that HIT training. And there we go. We got others. We got, looks like Brian, who hadn't seen the pointy end of the stick going, Danny going up front, giving, it looks like maybe, is it Wolfgang a break? I'm kind of sliding up there through the front. I'm like, we'll just kind of go because nobody else is going. Folks that are just wheel suckers, or what we call NPCs, that are basically just not in the game. They're not GC contenders. Brian looking strong here, and looks like probably going to reel them back. And here's an attack by Danny going around, and then disrespectful Danny, disrespectful, a man that pulled you up here, and to attack like that. Anyway, Brian's on his wheel, and I kind of cruise up, and here is the rest of the posse. And a good time was had by all. I assume JC won that. Nice work by Mr. Mellinger, Mr. Lawyer to come through and make that catch, because that was impressive. Very impressive. It was a good gauge of your strength and your abilities, and you used the great group wisely. Well played. And so I will leave you with a little bit of music to end this one out. Peace. And a good time was had by all.